right, here we are in another episode of the 5150 interview series. Today, I'm very excited to be speaking to one of the Van Goghs of heaviness, Dan Kaufman of Destroy Judas. How are you?
Oh, not too bad, considering the last time I saw you.
You want to fill in the audience? You want to fill in the audience, tell what happened, or do you want to just keep that
Oh boy,
private?
yeah. We played in Pomona. What was it, like 100 degrees outside?
Yeah,
Gotta be something.
it was during the SoCal heat wave, which I believe
Wave,
we're supposed to have.
100 degrees, 10 o'clock at night,
Yeah.
and lost a little bit too much weight in a short amount of time because of some oral surgery. And I played like it was 70 degrees, and pretty much almost passed out on the last song.
Yeah, I would say you're going through some dehydration right there. You know
Yeah.
what's amazing about that venue? Should we even mention give them a shout out how fucking incompetent they are, or should we just keep it between?
Oh man, that place was fun.
Yeah, asking them for water was
Yeah,
like
it was like you were speaking a foreign language.
yeah, right. Like they're like fuck you, we don't care. It wasn't
Yeah, we don't have water here.
it wasn't until I told them I'm gonna have to call 911, dude. Like, if you don't give me some fucking water, you know.
Yeah, that was weird.
Let me ask you this though. Your shows, I'm assuming that people are familiar with you, but for those that aren't, your shows are very, very intense, not only in the music that you perform, at the caliber that you perform, but also physically. Is that something that you've encountered before in your past shows of you having some?
Not that bad. I mean, I have by the end of the show wondered how the fuck I've survived. But that show, the world was literally just like, becoming like a small dot. That was probably the worst I've ever seen because I've never played in 100 degrees. Usually we're playing somewhere where there might be AC.
Right.
So, and I thought we were playing inside at that venue, and apparently we weren't.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, I'm glad you survived that.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Did any of the other band members have any sort of dehydration issues after that show?
Not as much as me. I was dealing with some health stuff, and I lost like 10 pounds in 2 weeks, which isn't necessarily healthy, but got to play a show, got to play for the kids, and it was fun. It was a great show. I had a blast, except for that half hour, 45 minutes there where I was almost dying, but
Well, I'm glad you pulled through there. Let's get into it. Destroy Judas. You guys have been around for quite some time now.
Yeah.
Every time I've described you in the past, I would say that you guys are the Van Goghs of heaviness. Your band is indeed in a genre of heavy beyond that label. You guys are indeed like the B-52s of bomb. You guys are very, very intense, very, very heavy. But what I like is that there's the true musicianship in your compositions.
Well, thanks. When we write, it's very weird and stuff. It takes us forever to write a song, even though like dude, you guys have like 3 riffs. Yeah, you know how long it took us to polish those 3 riffs to get them to sound how they do, but it's a lot of meditative, just going over and over and over again, and just kind of evolves into what they eventually people hear.
Let me ask you something. When you first started the band, was that the concept of taking it into like these heavy amplified overtures and
it was when this band started, Eyes of Fire was still around, and this was something for Nikki and myself to do with Steve Berta, the other guitar player, and we had a different bass player at the time, but it was more of a crusty, beaty, more aggressive style. And then when Eyes of Fire disbanded, I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna write what I know how to write, more so than the D beat stuff and the crustier stuff, and write more like what's comes from me naturally, I would guess. And it just kind of evolved. And at one point in time, we had 3 guitar players, which was fun. And our first show, we didn't even have a bass player.
So I've seen the band evolve as far as musically. One of the things that's very impressive is your compositions are not in any way, shape, or form predictable. I actually look at them as kind of Shakespearean in a
Oh
sense.
wow.
As they start off, they go in these unexpected directions, and in the past, when I had you on the radio show, I described it as a roller coaster ride, and I would still use that metaphor. My question to you is that what you guys try to achieve when you're writing music for your audience?
Uh, I guess kind of like we just kind of let the songs organically grow. And to be honest, like, yeah, I listen to some heavy music still to today, but it's such a small number. But even in Mind Rot and Eyes of Fire and all that stuff, I was listening to like Sonic Youth and Swans and, Fields and stuff like that, that wasn't necessarily being played by bands that just turn up, tune down, and play, really freaking loud and heavy.
What I
Yeah, Swans were heavy, but we were trying to do it in a more metal, I guess, kind of way. And then that's what seems like all the bands I've been a part of. That's kind of been the main theme, is we just try and be really heavy and not like everybody else.
But the thing is that you're not trying to be heavy. You are heavy, and even that definition, I feel that that classification is an injustice to describe Destroy Judas, because it's not just about the heaviness. The heaviness is just the foundation, but there's like some amazing orchestration, even in the percussion realm.
Yeah,
Where
like
where again, I'll say this: it's Shakespearean in a way. It's very artistically done in an amplified, heavy, intense manner.
yeah. I mean, we're definitely exercising demons within us, so then we can go be moderately functional human beings outside of the band. But like the music you hear, it isn't like we're just trying to be, heavy and sad or angry or whatever. This is how we feel. I mean, lyrically, we don't sing about that stuff, but musically, it's you know very just let out our emotions, and when we get done playing, we feel better.
The
You
reason
know.
the reason why I'm going into such a descriptive manner with the band is because then you also incorporate visuals, which really take it into a whole other realm. There's an artistic evolution in watching your band perform. In the sense, I don't want to even classify it in like in a neurosis sense, but in that realm, so to speak. And the visuals with the overtures, with the amplified barrage, it normally wouldn't work well, but in your case, it works fantastically well.
It's like I think, was it with you? Went back on the KNEC days. I said, I wanted to do visuals because I heard of some band nobody ever heard of called Pink Floyd, and they were doing visuals way back when. I'm sure most of these kids have no idea who they are, and they were like, it was a you go to see them, and it was an experience. Like even Neurosis back in the day when they were doing the visuals, like going to see them, especially back in the early days, it was an experience. They were intense as fuck, and the visuals essentially, and like, if you're somebody that just didn't get into the pits or anything like that, and you just sit there, I mean, maybe you took some shrooms or some acid, and it took on a whole different. The music takes on a whole nother level of meaning to people. And if that's what they get from us, hey, fuck, awesome. Because we definitely want it to be something people want to come see, just not a bunch of dudes standing up there because we're all ugly and boring to watch, anyways. And put something up there to people to see, to escape the world for however long we play, and
And
hopefully, it helps people in the long run. That I've had people have told us, hey, your music's helped me get through some bad times or whatever. And that's fucking rad.
I was just
That's
about to say that I've seen, I mean, because I've been following you since day one. I've seen in your audience people have like spiritual moments,
yeah.
like shaman type shit.
We've played a show. We played a song that's going to be on an album we'll eventually release, and there was somebody just bawling their head off by the time the end of the song came on. And it's a heavy, depressing song, and they were just crying their ass off. I'm like, whoa, okay, like, but it's cool. but it's also very weird that that happens. But I'm glad people get something out of what we're doing. Except for us being like, oh, there's some great heavy band. Hopefully, they get more out of it than just we're a band they appreciate.
Let me ask you this, because the visuals and the live orchestrations, as I mentioned before, are magnificently done, but it's hard to reproduce that, I would assume, in the studio. But you guys do that very well also in that environment. How does that come into play?
Well, we try and write stuff we can do live, and if we got to use a looping pedal or a sampler in the back just to add some extra sounds, that's what we're going to do. We're going to add some extra fun stuff, but we always try and keep it to basically like two guitar parts, and then in the studio we'll add an extra rhythm behind some stuff. But at least live you still get the heaviness of it all, I guess, or the power of it all, even when like me and Berta are noodling. Like at the end of the new song, like that we played at that show, him and I are doing these two super melodic parts, and it's still fucking heavy. And there's no rhythm guitars or anything like that. Like when we write the songs, we're just in a studio, in our rehearsal studio, locked away, just playing the songs over and over and over and over again, trying to tweak it to where it's as heavy as it can possibly be for us and still sound good and feel like it's going somewhere. Because yeah, our songs, we write 20-minute long songs, but we hopefully it goes somewhere. There's some bands write 20-minute long songs, and about 5 minutes in, you're hoping it's over.
Yeah, yeah, they're not able to keep that attention span of their
Yeah,
audience in any way. I've
you
never
know, and
seen
then
that. I've never seen that in your performances.
yeah, and then me growing up, I started playing a musical instrument when I was in the third grade, and I was playing in orchestras, all the way until I graduated high school. So I took in a lot of classical music and how they can write 15-minute long songs, and you're like hooked, you're into it. And I guess somehow that rubbed off on me on how to put songs together to keep them interesting for people and have different movements, even though you don't have a lot of notes going on because you only have so many notes you can play on a guitar. How many chords can you play? But that's kind of where we come from. There's some bands that they're gonna play one note for a half hour, and people fucking lose their shit over it. I'm like, why? It sounds like they got turned on their amp and walked away.
Wow.
And I don't understand it. I don't understand why, and but at least people like us. So
I've noticed that the progression of the band has also elevated to a sense where it like are incorporating even more different influences into your music. Is all that organically, or is this all strategically planned?
it's probably organically, because I'm sure we're all going out and we discover something new. Like right now, I'm really big into like this North African music that that's like this really jammy, almost psychedelic shit, but it's like lots of rhythms, lots of counter rhythms and counter melodies and stuff like that. And I'm sure I'm trying to incorporate that into what we're doing and not even realizing that's what I'm doing. But as long as it stays on our like sounds like us and not like, oh, now all of a sudden we think we're from North Africa. I don't want that to come across. We like to take what they do, dissect it, and somehow make it work for what we do. And
You
it
guys do
is
it
like I,
very well. You guys do it very well, and it resonates in a very sincere manner.
I appreciate that. And it's not like we're going out trying to do different things. It's just we
No,
all listen to different
that's
stuff.
evident.
Yeah,
That is evident right off the bat. The minute you guys plug in and start your performance, that in itself is evident that you know what, I said this before, and I'll say it again. It kind of seems like each and every one of you is on your own psychedelic elevated trip, even though you're not. But you're all collectively doing different things, but it all gels well. I remember asking you if that was the case.
yeah. Like we all attack music differently. We like There's some people that just, they're really intense on like what they're playing and they focus on that and they just get really into it. And then, like Nicky, the drummer, he's just back there wailing away on the drums, and in some weird way, he's meditating when he's playing. It's like he's meditating back there, and it's all right, cool, fuck, and me, I just close my eyes and go for a ride, and not on any hallucinogens or anything like that. I just close my eyes and let the music take over, and yeah, we all kind of do our own weird little trip when we get into the songs and we start playing, and it's cool, and glad that it adds to what we do. The people can realize that, yeah, we're as into it as we are, and we're not just up there trying to be fucking cool and have the chicks dig us or whatever.
No, you definitely stand out in the music scene. I was gonna say underground, but I've seen you play some shows where I notice you guys like to play with different type of artists. Is that because
Oh yeah,
you like the effect that you have in an unsuspecting audience?
yeah. That what was that Lodge show? I got the greatest email ever from somebody that never heard of us, and they went there with their kid, and he's. Did I send you that email?
Yeah, you did. Why don't
And
you tell the audience?
as soon as we went heavy, his kid just imploded and couldn't handle it. He said it was the guy said it was amazing. He's all, but his kid was just like, "What the fuck?" This is just too fucking insane.
Oh
So
man.
it's cool, like you have that effect on people, and then it's also like, why do I want to play with a bunch of bands that can sound somewhat? No, I don't think anybody really sounds like us, but that would totally make sense to fit with us. It's always cool to play with people that have never seen us before and play for them, and them just go, "What the fuck did I just watch?" And that's great. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's rewarding too because
Yeah, no, it is.
it's it's like you decimate them and then they transform into followers.
Yeah, and it's cool. Like at that Lodge Room show, one of the guys doing the visuals for the other two bands seen us before. We never played that first song before him, and he came up to me after we were done. He was like, "Dude, holy fuck, man! Like that song just blew his mind." And I'm like, "Oh, cool." Like we were worried about it because the beginning is like a really long fucking intro of clean music with a sample, and then it punches you in the face. But I'm like, man, I hope people can make it through this intro. And that show was our first show in a long time playing it. And when we got that reaction, I'm like, all right, we're gonna play this live for a while. That'll be half our set.
You guys always do a catastrophically fantastic fucking you guys always perform catastrophically awesome. Let's mention this. You will be going on tour. Destroy Judas will be going on a mini California tour. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm hitting up a bunch of places in California, getting out for the weekend kind of thing.
Have you guys done that before? Because I mean, I know you've ventured out here and there, but never like on the.
Yeah, we've done like a US tour, and then we've done a West Coast separately.
You guys done a U.S. tour before?
Yeah, 5, 6 years ago.
Oh fuck!
It
How'd
was
that go?
us and Trap Within Burning Machinery. And then we kind of went out to how far we went out to Atlanta and then up the East Coast and worked our way back. It was cool, man. It was fun. And then we did a West Coast. That was it just us? And then we met up with this band, Dirty Kid Discount, which you want to talk about different types of bands we play with. Dirty Kid Discount's a folk punk band.
Oh, great.
Bunch of, they're awesome. I loved everybody in that band. They unfortunately broke up, and now they're all doing their own thing. But there's like 8 or 9 people in the band that playing washboards and trombones and shit, and it's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
But
sounds like
we wanted to play with them.
sounds like
You
a
know,
organized mess, so to speak.
it is. It was amazing, and so we did a bunch of shows with them. So and this California run we're doing with Mountaineer and Aurora.
I'm glad. I'm glad that you are.
Aquaria. I think that's Aquaria. I know Clay, when I see him, he's going to kick my ass, but it's Aquaria. But I've known there's a Clay and Aquaria I've known for a million years. And then there's Clay and Mountaineer that I've known for a while. He used to be in that band, Lycus, that
Right.
doom metal band from the area.
I remember them. I like them a lot.
He was in that band. And I'm like, hey, none of us have been playing out for a while. Why don't we swap some shows? And that's basically what we did. And then we wanted to play Chico because that's like our home away from home, and we hit up some friends up there and booked a show, and So it's fun,
So
something to do. And like, hopefully next year we'll be able to do a more legit, 2-week thing. But, right now, we have family stuff we're dealing with, and just being able to get away for 4 days will be nice.
So October 5th is when you're starting this tour. And as you
Yeah, up in
mentioned,
Chico.
it'll start off in Chico.
Yeah.
And that's going to be with Cold Blue Mountain.
Yeah, and Shadow Limb.
Okay. And
Yeah.
October 6th, you're going to be with Mountaineer and
Aquaria.
and that's in Sacramento, Cafe
Yeah.
Colonial.
Cafe Colonial. Yeah.
Okay. October 7th, you're going to be at the Alba Room in Oakland with Mountaineer and Aquario.
Yeah, something like that. I know I'm getting my ass kicked after this.
I've been saying this repeatedly on the different episodes. I'm at LA Unified School.
Yeah.
So, from
so it's just California school districts in general, man.
Yeah, man. Aquario. And then October 8th, this is local. This is here in Long Beach.
Long Beach, man.
You'll be playing with Sumerian.
Yeah.
Sumerian. Those guys are great too. That's a great build. That's like
when I first heard them, I hit up Nicholas months ago. I'm like, dude, we got to do a show. And then once this came along, I'm like, dude, you guys want to do this? He's like, oh, fuck yeah. So I'm like super stoked they're on this. Like that shows. Will Supply and Demand even survive this fucking show?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I was gonna say that's like a double barrel shotgun of amplification.
Yeah.
Now listen, you got new music coming out, correct?
Yeah, we got it's 2 songs. Is it it's 40 minutes. Is it an EP? Is it an LP? I don't even know what anything is considered. It's 2 songs. There's that song Infinite Light, which I think you have like a little snippet of.
Right.
And we're also doing a cover song from a band called Soul Invictus.
Oh.
And, yeah, and Tony, I emailed Tony a long time ago. We recorded this thing a long fucking time ago. And he gave us his blessing to do it. Like, we'll probably have it on the CD in the Bandcamp. We probably won't put it on anything where we can, like, spot up the Soul Invictus won't be on any of the Spotify's or anything like that. But it'll be on the Bandcamp and then on a CD. And if somebody's dumb enough to release it on vinyl, I guess we'll let them release it on vinyl.
So let me ask you this. Is this your 3rd release? Because I'm familiar with Wake.
I think it's technically a 4th because we did that split with this band from Russia called Io Preo.
That's right. It is your 4th.
Yeah. We did a split with them. The Soul Invictus song was intended to be for a split, but then the other band pulled out, and then we just kind of figured out we'll wait till we find something to put it on, and then we have this 20-minute long song. It's like, hey, 2 20-minute long songs, let's do it.
So when do you expect this to be out?
It'll probably be up before the end of the year. I was hoping to get it mixed, but then oral surgery and then these shows started popping up, and this haven't been able to get back into the studio just to mix it. That's all we've been really needing to do is to mix it all. All the tracks sound amazing, and then got to listen to some Gus vocals that were thrown on the Soul Invictus cover, which are rad. We just got to figure out where to keep them and delete them and all that kind of fun stuff. But
I've heard these tunes in your live setting. They are amazing. They're immense.
Yeah.
I could imagine how they must sound in a recorded format.
Yeah, the Infinite Light is pretty fucking heavy. Like, it's nice having 4 guitar tracks being laid down compared to the 2 that we have live.
The 4-piece works very well for you, though.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It works. It seems like efficient. I always seem to want to go overboard. Like, if I had it my way, there'd be like 50 people in the fucking band. We have string players and keyboard players and noise makers and all sorts of stuff. But everybody else in the band's like, I don't know, man. That seems a bit too much. So
maybe in the future, I mean, you guys don't fit the norm as far as orchestrated an orchestrated set of musical creativity. You guys really take so many different directions, but again, it all gels very well.
Yeah, thanks, man. We like what we hope. Like, when we're writing stuff, we don't know if people are going to like it or not, and we like, not to say that we don't care, but we're not writing it for anybody else. We're writing music that we want to hear, and if everybody else likes it, well, awesome. Then it's a win-win. If people hate it, then we're like, I guess we'll stay in our rehearsal studio and play for each other.
I think that's the reason why the band is successful, because you don't have outside influences that are trying to conform you to what is out there now, which is
Yeah.
pretty
And
predictable.
and the fact that we're not with a label or anything like that, like my Eyes of Fire experience really soured me towards the record industry in general. Like we were doing what we wanted to do, and half the label, the American part of the label liked us, the European part of the label had no fucking clue what to do with us. So basically, that just ruined our career. And and then they just want you to tour all the fucking time. And I like touring at like 2 week periods. When you're going out for months and months and months on end, it can kill you.
Yeah,
It can ruin it.
literally.
Yeah, and it can ruin your familial relationships. I'm super envious of the people that can do that, and I'm like stoked to see my friends do that. But it's like something I learned years ago. That's something I could do 2 weeks.
Do you think that's the reason why the fact that Destroyed Judas and what you produce is so special and unique, because there isn't no outside factors of, like, say, trying to achieve some sort of global success, and there's no narcissistic inspirations to be quote unquote fucking rock stars, and you guys are getting together. You guys are humbled and grounded with your day jobs and your normal life, so when you get together, it's a pleasurable creative experience because you enjoy each other
Yeah,
and you enjoy creatively. It's like four chefs coming with different ingredients, and let's see what we come up with now, and you enjoy the process.
yeah. No, it's definitely we're not like being on a label. They want you yeah, put out record due cycle, put out the record due cycle. When they want a record on a timely basis. With us, we can hone our thing. I mean, our last release was what, 2016,
Yeah.
something like that. And trust me, we have a lot of stuff recorded. It's just not finished, and it's just because we're going to take our time. We want it to be right. We don't want to rush something out that isn't right and doesn't that we're not happy with. Because if we're not happy with it, then it doesn't matter what everybody else thinks. And not being on a label lets us do that, and we can just take our time, do what we want to do. We get together, a couple times a week. The one time we didn't do it was like during the pandemic. We took some time off because some people live with some, immune deficient, family members. I'm like, all right, hey, I get it. Let's take some time off. And that was weird. That's when I bought all my new gear because I had a bunch of money lying around. But and then
That's how you spent the pandemic, buying gear?
yeah, I was working 14-hour days when the pandemic hit. Post office, everyone's like, oh, it must be nice. Yeah, no, it sucked.
Yeah, I bet.
14-hour days were horrible,
Yeah.
but I enjoyed the money.
Yeah, more part too, man. Let's mention these live dates again. So October 7th, you're going to be in Chico.
No, that's fifth.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. October 5th. October 5th, you're going to be in Chico, and that's with Cold Blue Mountain.
Yeah.
October 6th, I don't know what's going on with me. Am I having a stroke? October 6th, Cafe Colonial in Sacramento with Mountaineer and, help me out,
Equoria.
Coria. October 7th, the Elbow Room in Oakland with Mountaineer and Aquaria. And then October 8th, you come back to Long Beach, your hometown. Supply and Demand with the Simmerman and who else?
Mountaineer and Equoria.
Okay.
It's 3 bands, and then we're throwing on a Cimmerian and gonna lay waste to Supply and Demand and have a good time.
Yeah, man. Let me just say this, Dan. It's very rare that a band keeps my attention and interest. It's very rare in this day and age that a band can evolve and retain that foundation of creative integrity. I've seen bands start off and then they lose the way, they get experimental, and I mean, more power to them, but they lose something. Since day one, you've been unpredictable. You've been unable to be classified. You've broken all the rules of the so-called underground scene. And I commend you for it because it's refreshing, it's unique, it's exciting to see you play every performance. That's why I go to your performances. I don't know if you notice, I'm at all your shows, or at least
yeah. No, I totally appreciate. I appreciate everybody comes and seeing you at all these shows. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Different,
You know, 'cause-
different experiences. And again, I'm going to say this: it's kind of like a Shakespearean play. You know, every experience leaves me bewildered, enlightened, elevated. I mean, my mind is just on a whole other dimension when it comes to a Destroy Judas show. And when I listen to you at home, that's the amazing part, because I don't lose any of that. It's the same effect. So I commend you and the guys for that. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that you're all sincere, humble guys, and you're creatively, organically true to yourselves and one another. And that is very rare in the city of Los Angeles or in the suburbs like Long Beach. So I commend you on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
I look forward to seeing you on the Los Angeles or Long Beach date, and I wish you well on your mini tour there. I look forward to having you release this. Hopefully, you guys will not let it linger.
No, this one, as soon as we get back, I'll probably go back in the studio and get in there, and we'll start mixing and having a good time.
Have you thought about going to Europe at all? Because I heard that you got a good fan base out there.
So that's what I've heard, but we have no way of knowing because we don't send any merch out there because, shipping has gotten ridiculous. And
yeah, well, you work for the post office. You know how you fuck everybody.
Yeah, that's a whole other story.
Yeah, the shipping is outrageous.
For everybody, it's outrageous. So even UPS and FedEx that do their own shipping has gotten ridiculous. And it's like, so it would be nice if somebody out there, like anybody out there wants to hit us up and release crap on CD, if they're dumb enough to do stuff on vinyl, let us know. I can get you the WAV files.
Yeah. It'd be great to have the Destroy Judas experience go global.
Because I know plenty of bands out there that would love us to come out and tour, but I'm like, dude, we don't even have anything to sell out there. Like, I don't know what the fan base really is, but I can see on the Spotify, they tell you where people are when they listen to you, and Bandcamp and all that crap. And there's a lot of Europeans, and I'm like, all right. Then we have a buddy in Finland that does tape releases for us, but they're limited edition, and maybe 100 of them are released or something like that, and they're gone within a day. So,
but you know what? Maybe that's a good thing, because when you hunger for something, you appreciate it more.
Yeah. And and then our stuff's on Bandcamp, and right now everything's pay your own price, which basically means if you want to download for free, knock yourself out. I'm not going to care. Like, I've never made money. Believe it or not, the only band I've ever made money on was Dystopia, and that was long after I was out of the band. The only band I ever got a royalty check for.
So, like, you guys really all incorporate that punk ethic still, that DIY, hey, here it is.
Yeah, that's where I grew up was the old DIY scene and everything like that. And that's pretty much how I wanted to come with this band, is like being more DIY. Like one of our early shows, like Central Media, Nuclear Blast, all these labels were there to see us. And I went up to all the guys because I knew them from back in the day. I'm all, don't even waste your time. Like, why? I'm all, we're not going to tour enough for you. The songs we're playing tonight are all edited versions because we have a really short set. And we're just, we're not going to be a band, like, you'll put out one record and then you'll be done with us because we're not going to do what you want us to do. And
don't you waste your time. Don't you waste your time, man.
Yeah, I told them, I'm come and enjoy the show. Don't even think about hitting us up about anything. Like, what?
Hey, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Because you're in my age bracket. I know I mentioned prior, the band appeals to a diverse set of listeners, people who come see you play. And so it's such a diverse audience that you have. But I noticed that you also appeal to the grind crust kids. Can you make an announcement maybe once in a while, like they don't have to smoke like a whole carton of
Dude, that last show was bad. They were all outside.
Right? It's not just me, right? Dude. I thought I walked out of there with 4th stage lung cancer.
That was nuts. That was rough. I'm not used to that. Like, usually we're playing indoors, nobody's smoking. We're playing that. I'm like, oh, fuck.
You make an announcement next time? Like, hey, keep it down to 3 cigarettes?
Yeah, that may have been part of the problem, too, with me on that show.
You think?
All that cigarette smoke, the 100-degree weather, the weight loss, the sweat in my eyes.
Yeah, I don't think you should play any shows after excruciating red stage heat wave announcement,
Oh my God.
because it's not cool for your audience either. I showed up there being sexy and I left there like
Looking like a hot
loaded.
mess.
Yeah, sweaty fucking mess. Dan Kaufman, thank you so much for being on the 5150.
Oh, thank you, man.
Destroy Judas is going to be going on the road again. Let me mention, you know what? I hate when I use these fucking phones. That's why I always stick to my notepad. Okay, so October 5th, you're going to be in Chico. October 6th, you're going to be in Sacramento. October 7th, you're going to be in Oakland. October 8th, you're going to be in Long Beach. We've already mentioned the bands that you're going to be with.
Check them out. They're all great.
They're all
Every fucking rules. Like every fucking show that we're doing is just fucking stacked. And I'm stoked to play with all these bands.
if you want to experience a real artistic theatrical, and when I say theatrical, I don't mean you got all kinds, just I mean the theatrics of the mind and heaviness as well. You need to check out Destroy Judas. Indeed, in this day and age where everyone is trying to piggyback off whatever is successful, it's very refreshing and very rewarding to see a group of sincere, humble musicians create something new with every turn and just doing it for the love of it.
Yep.
And so I commend all of you. Destroy Judas.
Thank you.
I wish you the best on the road. I look forward to your release. How can people keep in tabs with you?
We got the old timey Facebook page, just Destroy Judas. Instagram. We actually tweet on the Twitters every once on a blue moon, because that's just a toxic wasteland there.
Yeah.
And Bandcamp, destroyjudas.bandcamp.com. Like, if you want to get our releases, there they are. Download them for free. Make your own CDs, whatever the hell you want to do.
Right on. Dan, I wish you the best. The next time you play, please take some sort of Gatorade.
Bring about 8 gallons of water with me.
Yeah, bring some electrolytes with you, so that way we won't experience what that was quite frightening, by the way. So that way we don't experience any dehydration of any kind. And for those of you that are not experienced with the Destroy Judas Van Goghs of amplification experience, bring earplugs. With that, thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you, man. Take care.
I wish you the best, and thank you for taking the time to talk to me.
Oh, of course, man. Anytime.
Awesome. Thank you.